Hi, everybody. Hey, everybody, it's Brad.
And I'm
with the Big Family Homestead. Hi.
Stop.
We want to make meatballs for you.
Oh, my heavens.
Let's try again. Hey, everybody, it's Brad.
And I'm Krista.
With the Big Family Homestead. And today is going to be awesome because her Swedish meatballs are ridiculously good. However, I saw, as we were getting set up here, we have a person from Switzerland. So,
but that's not Sweden.
It's close enough, they know. They're okay, right there.
I'm going to just warn you now, I don't know what Swedish meatballs...
This is not a good way to start the live stream. Here's the expert
is my
on
recipe.
Swedish.
I'm not an expert. I never claim to be an expert on anything.
I think the way that this thing started out is my mom's recipe for Swedish meatballs. Yeah. And then we kind of just kept tweaking it and tweaking it.
Right.
So this is probably not going to be what they would call authentic.
No.
Although there's parsley, so that makes it authentic. That's all you need, right?
Well, and meatballs.
Lots of meat.
And gravy.
Meat for those meatballs.
Right. Now, this particular recipe has a lot of meat in it.
Boom.
And
you can half it.
You can half it. You can also just make all of the meatballs, use what you want, freeze the rest. That's what we're going to do.
Yes.
Because we won't eat 5 pounds of meat.
And do not be deceived. Even though Brad is large, I actually don't eat a lot.
No, he really doesn't.
For whatever reason, I think my thyroid's gone mental. Starts going.
Okay.
I actually don't know what a thyroid does.
Actually, I don't even either, because I've never had a problem with it. Anyway.
So, hi to everybody. Reverend's here. Anita, Jess, Jesus is Lord, Sue, Misty.
Hey, Cheryl.
Oh, Kathy, Common Sense, Julie James, Louise, Joanne, everybody. Welcome. Everybody.
Right.
All right. So, how do you want to start, Mom? You want to go over, we've had the recipe.
We can talk about the recipe. It's in the cookbook.
It's also in the description down below in the video description.
Right. So there's quite a few ingredients for this. I mean, I wouldn't say there's a lot of spices and herbs and a lot of meat. I actually have a little bit more meat in here than the recipe calls for because our meat comes in 2-pound packages.
Yeah, see, that was a cow that we owned.
These two are beef, and this one is pork.
And they both were our animals.
Yes, we raised both of these critters.
But for you guys, there's this amount of meat, like Krista said, is just is it 1 pound? 1 pound over?
Half pound.
Half pound.
Yeah, it's only a half a pound more. So you know, if
you need to keep it meaty, throw in an extra whatever you want.
Right.
So, but pretend like she's got the right amount of meat for this video.
Yes. Because, a half a pound of meat for us, it's going to get wasted. So I'm just going to throw it in there because it's going to get frozen after I cook it.
So you want to go over the recipe for the meatballs?
Yes, we can.
And then do it as we go?
Right.
How do you want to
so
do it?
The recipe is 3.5 pounds of ground beef, 1 pound of pork, and then you have an onion, a large onion, finely diced, but I'm going to use our Thrive onions because
no chopping, no tears.
I don't have to cut them. I mean, there are some occasions where I do use a raw onion, but these work fantastic for meatloafs and, tacos.
Oh,
awesome.
One of the reasons why these things are actually so good, why they work so well, is because they're freeze-dried. Mm-hmm. And what happens is all the stuff, the liquids, they don't go away. These absorb it.
Right.
So that's what actually hydrates it.
Right. I don't rehydrate these before I use them in a meatloaf or taco meat or spaghetti meat. I just throw them in dry. Then we've got 2 eggs. And then I've got 2 teaspoons of ground dry mustard, a tablespoon of salt, and then we've got my stuff is all over the place. I didn't organize it. Half a teaspoon each of basil and parsley. a cup of seasoned breadcrumbs. And that's for the meatballs themselves. And then for the gravy, it's flour, beef broth, cream, salt, pepper, a little more basil, and some pepper.
Mimi's asking if you can use all beef.
Yes.
The answer is yes.
Yes, you can.
Absolutely.
I have added a little bit of pork in here. I did that in the transition of tweaking the recipe. It just added a different flavor, and it was really good. So yes, you can use all beef, you can use all pork, you can use whatever. You can use turkey if you'd like.
Ooh.
That's if you like turkey, not you. I'm not talking about you. You be quiet.
Run away.
It's all in a personal preference.
Next thing you're going to be telling us we can use muskrat.
Ew. No thanks.
No muskrat meatballs?
No.
How many muskrats would it take?
I don't know. But I am going to take off my jewelry because you get down in nitty gritty in this particular recipe.
What about lamb? You could use lamb. That would be expensive,
I don't eat lamb. I mean, if you raise your own lambs, I would imagine that you could do that. I've never. I think
like
I've
gyros.
had lamb once.
I like gyros.
Yeah. Well, gyros are seasoned differently. I've had lamb once, and I don't remember if I liked it or not.
Venison with an exclamation point.
You can.
Absolutely.
You can.
Yep. And that only costs you, what, about 20 cents for that bullet?
Well, then however much it costs you to process it if you don't process it yourself.
Oh, you got to do it on your own.
True.
Okay, so first things first, you are?
First things first, I'm not going to mix this just yet because I need my hands to stay clean until I go ahead and mix this in. So I'm going to go ahead and get our onion, and I'm going to use a cup, 1 whole cup of onion.
Because that will equal a large onion.
1 large onion, exactly.
Let's pull that right over there. There we go.
1 large onion.
Done. No cutting, no chopping, no tears.
No tears, exactly. Absolutely love these things.
Why is bread not dressed like the Swedish chef from the Muppets? That is an excellent.
I should have put him on the table. I have. Bork. I have. I'm gonna pick up the camera. Can you show the?
No, don't move it. Don't move it. It's set right.
Okay, fine.
It's set right.
I have a cookie jar set of the Muppets. I have the Swedish Chef. I have Miss Piggy. I have Kermit and Animal. And I love them. My mother-in-law bought them for me years ago, and they stay in a very special spot where I can see them when I'm cooking.
Yeah, but his hand's busted off.
It got broken in the move.
Yeah.
But, okay, so we've got our onion and our pork and our beef in here, and now we're going to get our eggs.
223 is 80 cents now. Are you kidding me?
Oh, jeez, oh, Pete.
We reload. But we're not talking about that today anyway.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Good catch, Mike.
All right. I'm going to put that in there. And now, okay, and I'm sure a lot of you know this, but you notice that I cracked 1 egg into a separate bowl. We have fresh eggs. You never know what's going to be inside that shell.
Sometimes they could be fertilized.
Right. And you know what? If you buy your eggs, you still should do that because you still could get an egg that's rotten.
Yeah, it happens.
But I always crack a single egg into a bowl and then add it to my dish because if it's a rotten egg and I put it straight in there, or there's a shell, you've ruined the whole thing.
Well, and that would be a whole lot of meat to waste too.
Right.
That would not be fun.
Exactly. Okay, so now we need our dry mustard. And we need 2 teaspoons of that.
2 teaspoons.
2 teaspoons.
Dry mustard. On and do. There you go.
Sorry about the loud there.
All right.
This back here.
Bandana Grandma was going to use ground turkey with pulverized veggies. Oh my gracious.
Good luck with that one.
She's going to have cauliflower and broccoli Swedish meatballs.
Right. Okay, now 1 whole tablespoon of salt. I know it seems like a lot, but there's 5 pounds of meat here. It's really not.
Yeah, and besides, it's the sea salt too. That we ran out of our pink Himalayan salt.
You buy sea salt.
But the sea salt is not as salty as regular iodized table salt.
Right, because the grind is a lot bigger than the table salt grind, so you're actually putting less salt in your tablespoon than you would for regular table salt. Okay, we need a 1/2 teaspoon of parsley. Well, maybe.
In you go. We got more parsley flakes on the shelf.
I couldn't reach with my little teaspoon there.
Snuffleupagus.
1 tablespoon of garlic. I am going in order, right? I think so. Hopefully I'm not missing anything. Tablespoon of garlic, because we love our garlic.
As the garlic flies into the computer's air intake.
Just the basil. Just the basil.
Oh.
Okay, 1 cup. What?
Mike DeFazio, he caught it. When I switch the camera away, I keep forgetting to turn the jazz music off.
Oh, funny. Can you turn it off altogether?
It is off now. It's gone.
Okay. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and put our breadcrumbs in, which are seasoned. I buy them already seasoned. I haven't gotten a good... I haven't made breadcrumbs very well yet. I've been trying.
And so that's 1 cup, correct?
Yes, 1 cup of breadcrumbs, and then a 1/2 teaspoon of basil.
In you go.
And then a 1/2 teaspoon of pepper.
Show them your jars. She likes these jars.
I love these jars. These are
Hold on, let me get to the camera. There we go.
Pioneer Woman jars, and these are not for canning, they're for decoration. So I put our spices in them. And they, you know what? We went to get the labels, and I can't find the labels yet. They had the small ones, but they don't have the big ones, so I have to order them special. But I love these jars. They're textured. They're really, really nice. And they came with those lids. Okay, so now we've got all of our ingredients inside, and we're going to go ahead and mix this with our hands, because God gave you these first, as Mom always said.
And the goal is just get it incorporated.
Just get it completely incorporated, exactly.
There you go.
And the breadcrumb and the egg are going to hold the meat together really nicely. Got to get that pork incorporated in here.
Really cool to see youngsters as part of the community. All right. I'm not sure who they're referring to, but we are definitely no spring chickens.
No. We are straight up middle-aged.
Yep.
And this is a lot of meat, you know, but this is going to make, and this makes a lot of meatballs. So that's why I only make this once in a while.
Because it's piddly.
Well, it's not just, it is piddly. But you can freeze them ahead of time.
Yep. Nordic Star Homestead says, loves the tie-dye.
Oh, thank you.
Yep.
This apron was made for me.
It was a gift.
It was a gift from Lisa, and, you know, she just...
Ernie's got a good comment here. It's like Play-Doh you can eat.
I still wouldn't eat it right now.
You know, there's a thing. Why don't they make flavored Play-Doh? Oh, no, wait. That's kind of a bad idea.
That's a very bad idea. You can make flavored Play-Doh.
They make the scented Sharpie markers now. It's
Yeah,
that's probably
ridiculous.
not a good idea. Here, let's train the kids up to sniff marker glue.
Right.
Marker glue.
I think I have this pretty well incorporated. And see, it's not wet. And it's not...
You gotta go a little closer,
No,
baby.
I know. It's not wet. Of course, this is not how big they're going to be.
That would be a
not
man-sized meatball.
Yeah, it would be a man-sized meatball. It's not wet, and it's not falling apart. It's holding nicely together. The breadcrumbs and the eggs do a really good job of holding that together.
All right.
Now I need to wash the goop off my hands.
Before you form the meatballs?
Oh, good point. I forgot about that part.
That's fine by me. I just try to be helpful.
Well, I still have to wash my hands.
Okay. All
Sorry.
righty.
I have to turn my back on the camera.
There she goes. She's hiding behind the big elephant-looking beast with the hat and glasses. So, all right. Looking for comments here. Have you ever tried panko crumbs? Asks Nordic Star Homestead. We have not, but I'm not opposed to that. Those would probably be extra little crispy.
Yes, I have used them for breading chicken. And that makes a really good breading for chicken, but I've never tried it in this. All right, so I'm going to have to move this over just a bit.
Did you get that going?
Yes, I'm going to get this out of the way.
If I can help, baby, let me know.
No, I'm just trying to make space.
All right. My mom's really interested in this kind of stuff, so I'm into it as well.
Sweet.
There we go. Okay. Sea salt has tons of minerals. Bonus,
True.
says Vienna.
Very true.
I was given a pound of ground bison and recently made it to use this recipe. Wow.
All right,
Let's see if we can see the camera. You're close, and you're there, baby.
Okay.
Booyah. Look at that.
Okay, so I've got this right here, too. Okay, so now I've got my handy-dandy.
Oops, sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry. There you go.
You're gonna give them a headache.
That's right.
So it's just a cookie scooper. I think it's a 1 ounce size, and I'm just going to scoop this like I would cookies. I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of oil in the pan here. Well, maybe a lot of it.
You know what? There's another person, second person that I've seen that says that they will put mayonnaise in it too. Helps keep it moist.
She says she made
That's interesting.
mayonnaise in cakes and
Ooh,
biscuits.
Look, your face is reflecting in the oil.
Ooh, that's weird. That's really weird. Now, something else I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn the oven on because these aren't going to cook all the way through in the skillet. Otherwise, they'll burn.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sear the outsides and then put them on a cookie sheet and stick them in the oven to continue to cook.
Yeah. And what's the temperature on that?
I'll just put it at 350 because it doesn't have to be super hot.
Okay.
Because by the time I get these all done...
Miles, you're cheating. Roll them by hand.
Actually, I do.
No, this is really good for portion size.
This gets me the right size, and then I roll them by hand.
Yeah.
So as you can see, it's quite painful. No.
We were big Crocodile Hunter fans back in the day.
Yeah.
As you can see, this is quite painful. They'd have like a snake hanging from his arm.
Right. So I'll just get, just 1 scoop, and then I'll put it in my hand and roll it. That way I have all of the meatballs the same size, and they'll all cook about the same temperature. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stick these in the skillet. Yes, the skillet is on, though. It's on high.
Okay. No mayonnaise in Swedish meatballs. From a Swede.
There's our skizzle. Our skizzle.
Marie says, yes, she's Swedish.
Okay.
We don't put mayonnaise in there.
No.
Yeah. But we will also openly say this is probably not a strictly authentic recipe.
No.
Because we've tweaked it over the years.
Yeah.
Ooh, I can hear that sizzle now, baby. All right. Let's see.
And I love the cast iron for this.
Oh, yeah.
It just, it's so good. I think we use cast iron for pretty much everything now.
I would say.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't use the cast iron for is like the big pot for boiling.
Right. Well, we don't have one of those. I mean, we have a big Dutch oven, but generally it's better to not boil water in those. You lose your seasoning.
Yeah. You don't want to do that.
No.
You don't want to do that. You know, I heard you guys talking about the bison meat.
Uh-huh.
We were gifted some bear meat.
Yeah.
And they hunt black bear, right? Well, here, like in our woods.
The camp that's over here.
And we have not had the opportunity yet to test it out because I don't want to waste it.
Right.
You know, I don't want to mess it up and be like, because it's very, very sought after around here.
And very expensive.
Yep.
After you've, processed it, and after all of the money you spent in obtaining this said bear.
The beast.
Yeah.
Julie Girl, Brad and Christa, do you need a taste tester?
Yes.
Come on over. Come on over. There's plenty to share. Hope you can hear that, guys. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle.
All right, so I'm not going to overload this, and I'm just going to roll these around a little bit. I know you should probably use tongs, but my fingers work just as good.
Not thongs. That would be a horribly...
Oh, my heavens.
That would make a completely different kind of video.
Yeah. You goofball. See, they're starting to get a little crispy on there.
Northwood Acres is saying, bear meat, bear sausage mixed with pork is so good.
That was hot.
You know, and I've been told that too.
Yeah.
I've been told that too.
Yeah.
We actually have some bear jerky too, but we haven't... I want to save it for
sausage.
No.
It's a summer sausage.
Summer sausage, yeah.
I'm saving that.
Yeah, something special, maybe Christmas time.
Yeah.
Let's see. Bear Singleman says bear can be very gamey. Now I've not heard that from the people around here. They've not said that. Matter of fact, to the contrary, because okay, confession. I'll eat venison, but it's not my favorite meat.
Yeah.
It's not.
No.
I prefer beef and pork over venison. But that's just a preference thing.
Right. And I know a lot of folks say that you can mix venison with pork to make it, you know, less gamey. But it's just not our preference. I mean, I really love raising our own meat. You know, I know what they're eating. Of course, I know that deer are eating whatever's in the wild.
Yes.
Unless somebody's feeding them.
Well, hey, they feed them. Oh my gosh, up here.
They feed them like crazy.
Oh, there's bags, there's pallet loads of deer corn at every gas station.
Yeah.
And they're constantly feeding baiting these deer.
Well, I think they're feeding them through the winter because we've had such a really harsh winter.
Oh, and a lot of deer.
A lot of deer have died.
E.K. Hill, are you afraid of bears where you are? The word would not be fear.
No.
Because let's just say we're all big fans of the Second Amendment, and we all are pretty much not afraid of the bears.
No. It's just, you know, we're cautious.
Well, yeah. We're very aware, and another thing, the kids are not allowed to be outside alone.
No.
And when they go out, they actually have a walkie-talkie with them. So that way, if we need to get in touch with them or something happens, they're there. But I will also say, we've been here 2.25 years, 2.5 years now?
No. Year and a half. Year and 3/4.
Seems like longer.
Yeah.
Haven't even seen one.
No.
Have not even seen one, but they're here.
I've seen scat and I've seen prints, not on our property, but out in where the trails when we go out,
and
which are not far from here.
Yeah, BFH, Mike DeFazio, BFH is loaded for bear.
Yep.
Yeah, no, but our neighbor, the Don, he's always out running his dogs. He's got about 20 hunting dogs,
Something
and they
like
go.
that.
And it's actually really hard to get a bear tag around here.
Yes, you have to be part of the lottery.
Yep. Yep. Let's take another look at those meatballs, Mama. Oh my gosh, they smell so good. Singleman, I'm only afraid of bear cubs. Mama ain't too far away. Ain't that the truth?
True.
Yeah.
Very true. All right.
Yeah, we see deer like all the time. A lot of turkey around here. The turkey they're everywhere. But not even seeing a bear. I know that there's coyotes all the time. We hear them all the time, and we also know that there are wolves.
Yes.
Actual wolves. And haven't seen them, but I think that, in all honesty, is due to our donkey.
Yes.
Donkeys are great herd protectors, and our donkey Eeyore has a baby named Puzzle.
Who is almost a year old.
He's grumpy sometimes.
He's
a biter.
Such a sweetheart. You know, he's not so much of a bite. He bites her.
He's playful.
He's very playful, and I think he's just testing, see what's going on.
Yeah, but a donkey will kick out and kill a coyote like that.
Yeah.
And so, bears don't want to deal with that. They're not going to come into our farm area with the animals that we have unless there was something really bad wrong and they were like starving.
Right.
They're not coming around. Jane Olness. We actually saw a bear in the city. Wow.
You know what? There was, when we lived in Cincinnati, we lived in a very affluent neighborhood. Not that we were affluent.
Not. I was working for a church.
We worked for the church and lived in the parsonage. And there was a bear in the neighborhood next to us.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. The hunters in the area, every once in a while, if you guys know, the Cincinnati Zoo is a big deal. It was what, Jack Hanna?
He's at the Columbus Zoo.
One.
Yeah.
But it's a well-known zoo, and it's right downtown. Well, not downtown like the big skyscraper buildings are like 2-3 miles away.
Right, but it's near
right
downtown,
there.
yeah.
But the thing is that there was such a bad feral cat problem there.
Oh yeah.
Like they would have hundreds of cats, and they would be in the zoo. And the little dirty secret was every once in a while, a few times a year, they would make phone calls to hunters and be like, "All right, you, and you, take care of these cats."
Right.
And they would get rid of them.
Right. All right, so I don't know if you saw. Can you put
Here,
that?
we're back. Yep.
I've got some already on. I gotta go closer. On the tray to be put into the oven.
Keep in mind, they're not fully cooked yet.
They are not fully cooked. It takes another 15 minutes in the oven to get them fully cooked because, well, and then, you know, most of these will go in the freezer. So the ones I put on the cookie sheet will go in the freezer. Then I will set some aside to put back in the sauce, and they'll continue to cook in the sauce. And then you can use these meatballs for spaghetti.
Oh,
you can use them for meatball subs.
They would be great for subs, I think.
Because they're not too big. You know how some meatball subs, you got these man-sized meatballs?
Man-sized meatballs.
Yeah. But as you can see, I'm not even near halfway of this meat.
Sorry, go ahead.
I might not be able to make all of these on the live stream, but that's okay.
We'll keep going. Well, we can save those for after the stream is done.
Right, I can keep cooking.
But you know, funny story that I saw on an interview about they're talking about wild animals and them showing up in weird different places.
Right.
This one guy, they lived in California and near mountainous area, and he basically had a pit bull, and he came home from being away, and the pit bull was in the backyard, and the pit bull had cuts all over him and just had been opened up and had need of stitches and stuff. So he quickly rushes the dog to the vet, and they're like, "What in the world happened to this dog?" And he says, "I don't know. I just came home and it was like that. It was in the backyard, all cut up, all bloodied up." And then they patched the dog up, and he went back on home. And what had happened was, he found a trail of blood. The guy found a trail of blood, and it was like leading up into the foothills of these mountains. And he gets up into the mountains, and he finds 10 dead coyotes. 10.
It's crazy.
That pit bull was a bad mamma jamma. I mean, he wasn't looking for a fight, but it seemed to me like they sure were going to get one.
Right. I put a raw meatball over on the cookie sheet.
Uh-oh, don't do that.
No. It'll still cook, but, you know. And I guess you could bake these.
But you want that crust.
You want that crust, but you also want the season, you know, the grease in the pan to help make your sauce.
All right. Yeah, those are good. And something else too, when you bake them, it kind of almost softens that crust up just a little bit, which is okay, because right now, if you can see, they're actually kind of hard on certain sections.
Yeah. That's why I don't cook them all the way in the pan, because they'll be too hard and kind of burned. You guys, I wish you had smell-o-vision, because man, oh man.
Northwoods. I am glad that you mentioned that. I'm going to change that right now. There's a volume difference when we cut to the close cam, and I think I know why. So I'm going to change it right now. Let's check that mic.
Too low.
There we go. Sorry about that, guys. A little technical difficulty. Do you can the leftover meatballs? Can they be canned? Yes, you could.
Ouch.
We have not.
I don't see why not. But I've never done that.
Ernie, you can't. There was same comment about the canning. But by the way, Brad, dead coyotes. While you're talking about meatballs, this is the Big Family Homestead people.
What?
We're talking about the coyotes. They were shocked, I guess, or perplexed, or that I would be chatting about a coyote story. Well, it's because they're right here.
They are. We have them. We hear them all the time at night. We hear them howling all the time.
Yeah, they don't come around.
Howling? I guess they do howl.
They don't come around, but if they did, they would be met with a very, very...
angry donkey.
And if the donkey didn't get them, it'd probably be Mama or me. Yep. Yeah. Because we're not playing games with predators and having small kids around.
No.
I'm not afraid of them.
I'm not afraid. I'm afraid for my kids, you know, just because I want them to be safe.
Yeah, they come around here, they'd have a bad day.
Yeah, they would.
And you know what's funny is our neighbor, the Don, there's a lot of animals out here that are really, really problematic for farmers. One of them is porcupine. They're everywhere.
Yeah, we saw one just down the road. Sure
did. And they're still in season. The Don asked me if I wanted to go with him, and I was like, "Where do you go?" He goes, "You go out into the logging trails. They just wait for them across the logging trails."
Oh my!
It helps the farmers out by them not being here.
Yeah. Well, and their dogs, because if they go sniffing around a porcupine, they're gonna get a nose full of quills.
Quill. We did see when we were ATVing last summer, we did see wolf tracks, and I got to tell you guys, they were big.
They were huge.
Big.
Really kind of ominous, I guess you could say. Scary. Just no thanks.
S.M. Sweeney, why are they called Swedish meatballs? Do you know? There's nothing Swedish in the ingredients at all.
Never been to Sweden, so I wouldn't know.
You know, it's one of those things where a recipe starts out one way and then you just kind of keep tweaking it. So,
yeah.
I don't know. These are our version.
Yeah.
Shannon says wild boar too. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Porcupine meatballs. I'm not sure I would want to eat a porcupine.
No, I'm not a fan. Well, I've only seen one in the wild once. And that was the other day. It was down the road.
Yeah, it was after they had combined that field.
No, it was just the other day. Literally, just the other day. With
I saw one.
Snow.
I saw one before the snow.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, when they were doing that field right there.
Funny.
Yep.
Must live around there.
Yep.
All right, we're getting there.
Who's the farthest north? I'm seeing that we've got some Canadians here. I see Nova Scotia.
You keep
getting
oil
zapped.
Keeps popping at my arm.
Who's the farthest north? Who would you guess? I don't know. Maybe Alicia. She might be the farthest north.
Either that or Phoebe.
Phoebe might be. Yeah, Phoebe might be. And we see somebody else. Oh, Fab Four Girl. She's in British Columbia.
Well, that's
Saskatchewan is another one.
Okay, but that's spreading this way. You know, British Columbia is all the way on the side. I think Saskatchewan is in the middle. Isn't
Canada is huge.
It's massive.
It's
is it
huge.
British Columbia, and then Manitoba, and then Saskatchewan? Correct me if I'm right or wrong. I can't remember. Sometimes my geography is a little off.
Cartography, the map making.
Right.
That's. But if
that's
you look at Canada
maps.
on a map, it's massive.
I know.
Peaceful Inspirations. How much snow do you still have? It is melting like crazy, but I would say we're down to a foot.
Yeah.
Down to a foot.
Yeah, we got so much snow. It was insane.
I had a possum destroy my corn plants last summer.
Oh,
Woo.
no.
Zeragim. I guess I'm further east. She's getting married tomorrow.
Oh, no. I saw that. That's awesome.
Future congratulations and previous congratulations. You know, getting married is not really the tricky part. It's staying married.
How is it that we said that at the exact same time?
Well, we've been married
26 years almost.
Yep. Got married when we were 14. No.
He always does bad math.
That is actually kind of funny. I think I've told the story before.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah.
All right, who's got questions?
Any more flooding in your basement? Yes.
Yes, but very little.
Yeah, and fingers crossed, eyes crossed, legs crossed, knees crossed. You know, so far it's only been that once, but it was about 6 inches deep.
Yeah.
But Man, oh man, I think it's because it's been warm, but I don't think that pipe actual froze.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then the water in the garage, while the water is coming into the garage, it's slowly receding. So we've got, in the center of the garage, we've got maybe an inch.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's still cold here, but it's been going just above freezing pretty much a few hours a day.
I think the high was supposed to be 44 or 45 today.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, no kidding. Mm-hmm. We had snow yesterday, but it didn't stay, thank goodness. Ice crust.
Yeah. Yep. Fab 4 girl, I'm hitting 27th year with my hubby.
Oh, wow.
He knows the most important rule. Happy wife equals happy life.
None of that.
Nah. No, of course.
I have meat hands.
Meat hands. Hi from Ohio, says Leanne Bischoff. I don't know how to properly say that. I did not mean to. Biscoff.
Maybe.
Apologize for the probably most likely misinterpretation.
Yeah, I might be even saying it wrong.
Janice, 23 years. All right, who's got the longest running marriage so far? There you go. There's a question for you.
Ruth is asking a funny question.
Ruth, is Nana a deterrent to any predators you have? No.
No.
She's over there lying. Looks like she's comatose, like somebody electrocuted her in the corner. She's just like, ah.
If somebody came to the door, she would probably lick them to death.
But the funny thing is if they're outside the house and she sees somebody, she flips out.
She does, yeah, she does. She doesn't like it when the UPS driver comes over.
Nope. All right. Let's see. April 24th is our 20th anniversary. Congratulations.
It's the day before your birthday.
Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm. You know, I think Nana would react badly if one of the kids were getting hurt.
She doesn't like that at all.
She doesn't, like, even like we're play wrestling, you know, in the house.
She gets very concerned.
She gets right over there and comes right between us.
Right.
Whoever it is.
Right. The other day, they were horsing around when we were not home. Imagine that. And Claire is dragging the kids around the floor. And Nana
having fun.
Yeah, they were having fun. But Nana was trying to grab the kids with her mouth to hold them. To stop her, yeah.
Okay. So, a lot of people have been married for a long time. Michelle, 24. E. Cahill, 37.
That's awesome.
Jeanette, 31. Carol, 32. Julie James, 37. Carol, 50 years. Congratulations.
That's awesome.
To everybody. Peaceful Inspirations, 22. Alicia, 44 records broken because of the heat in Canada today. Wow. Okay, 38 years for Jean Marie.
Ow,
all right.
Ow.
It's going to get you. It's spitting.
It is spitting.
Yeah, Nana is a deterrent to dust bunnies, says Reverend.
Yeah.
Reverend.
She's such a sweet dog. She's a very good girl. We've never had any issues here at the house, so we don't know what she would do. She could be a very good protector.
Joe Ellen is married 48 years, coming up on July 24th. Wow. Hey, Brad, you and I both are April babies.
Awesome.
April 30th, yeah. Mine's the 25th.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be expecting a card in the... No, I'm kidding. You know what, Mama? As you're doing that, why don't you tell them why we love Thrive Life so much? Oh, my gosh.
Well, first off, it makes life and making dinner prep so much easier, honestly. It's just, simple ingredients. It's just onions. It's just broccoli. It's just bell peppers. There are so many different things. Celery, carrots, mushrooms. Oh my goodness gracious. Absolutely love mushrooms. And I hate buying a whole package because I'm the only one that eats them. Yeah, but it's just you know, we try to cook with simple ingredients. You know, I don't like having to buy boxed, you know, we don't buy what is the stuff you absolutely, Hamburger Helper. We don't buy that anymore, which against your better judgment sometimes.
That's like dude food.
It is dude food, but however,
it's so bad for you.
I know how to make an alternative, and it tastes just as good, if not better, because it doesn't have as much sodium or any MSG or any nonsense like that. And you know, what else? What was I going to say?
Well, with Thrive Life, the thing is this: we got into it originally because of prepping.
Right.
A buddy of ours named Bill, he introduced us, and I was like, dude, I do not want to get involved in Amway Part 2.
Right.
And he said, it's not like that. Trust me, you're not trying to get somebody to buy soap or something that they don't want or don't need.
Right.
He said, all you're going to do is share it, and then they either like it and buy it or they don't.
Right.
And I'm like, well, okay. Well, I stubbornly said, all right, I'll buy a couple things and see what we think.
Well, he sent us some stuff too.
Yeah, he did.
He sent us a few things to try, which was awesome.
And we were blown away.
Yeah, blown away. The fruit, guys, oh my goodness. You know, we don't have a very long growing season here in Wisconsin. So for us to have fresh fruit, because it really is fresh, because it's picked at its peak ripeness and then freeze dried right then.
Yeah.
Okay? So it's not staying in the refrigerators, you know, for a very long time. It's not frozen. It's freeze dried, which means it's frozen very quickly. It's flash frozen and then dried.
And then freeze dried, yep.
It's not dehydrated where it's heated and then, you know, dried.
Yeah.
This is frozen and dried, so it locks in all those nutrients.
Julie James, the blueberries, that's what hooked me right away.
Yeah.
They're like candy.
Yeah.
And one cool thing about it too is if you're baking with blueberries, it's so weird because you don't need to rehydrate them. You just put them straight into your batter. And you know how like those ones from the boxes in the store, they get like smushy and there's not really a blueberry there anymore?
No. They explode.
Yeah.
And they make this
well, the Thrive ones stay as a full-size, really super tasty blueberry.
Yep.
But, oh yeah, no, we didn't want to get involved in the business side of things at all.
No.
And then he said, look, dude, just try this stuff, and you tell me if it's not great, amazing.
Right.
And we did, and I was like, okay, you have my ear.
Right.
I am willing to listen to you about Thrive Life.
Right.
And I kid you not, guys, it's changed our lives.
We can live in the middle of
of nowhere.
Middle of central Wisconsin.
And the thing about it is that you don't have to convince anybody of anything.
No.
Because everybody has to eat, and you just say, here, try this.
Right.
And then it's freeze dried. Well, what do you mean? Well, it's good on the shelf for 25 years if you don't open it.
Right.
It'll be the same nutritional value, same taste 25 years from now. So
definitely.
That's why we got into it originally, but now we use it in our day-to-day life because if you don't know anything about being a consultant, if you become a consultant, one of the benefits you get is when you sell something, you get free food. So we started doing that. We're like, well, heck, we'll just tell people about it. And then if they buy something, great. We're just building up our preps. And that just kind of grew and grew. And then it's been amazing. But the thing is, you don't have to convince anybody. I mean, we don't buy it's not like Amway at all.
You don't have to buy a bunch of stock
and store it. Nope.
They will drop ship it to you.
Yeah, everything that's bought is drop shipped. So I don't have to make it. I don't have to buy it. I don't have to ship it.
You don't have to have a lot of cash in stock. You know what I mean? A lot of companies, you as the consultant have to buy all of the product and then sell it to make your money.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that.
Yeah.
This way, folks make an order and then they order through your website and it's shipped directly from the company. Yeah.
That's the way to.
That's the way to.
That's the way to go.
Yeah.
And, well, I mean, we just love it.
Yeah.
And if you're interested, I'll tell you what, becoming a consultant is easy. It's affordable.
Yes.
And you get, what you get is 99% of it is a box of food. So it's not like you got to pay like a fee to get in, and then you start buying stuff. Not that at all. But, oh, I know. If you're interested, there's a link down below. If you want more information, there's an email address too, but it's info.bigfamilyhomestead@gmail.com, and we'll be happy to answer any of your questions.
All right, guys. This is the last of the meatballs, and I know it took a long time. I'm sorry.
Right.
And we are going to... we just kept talking, and so I just kept making meatballs,
There you go.
not thinking about the time until I looked at the clock, and I thought, uh-oh,
Yeah.
we better get cooking. Oh, wait. We have been. Okay, so I'm going to let these simmer just a minute, and I'm going to go ahead and get all of the other ingredients out, which there's not that many. And this is a way I'm going to show you how to make gravy, and this is the base of pretty much any gravy you want to make.
I'm seeing there's some back and forth with single man on goats.
Oh, really?
You know, the funny thing about goats, I think we were blessed. We don't have goats anymore. We actually gave our herd away.
Yeah.
To a pastor.
Oh, it's a small herd, but yeah.
Yeah. It was what, 3 of them?
4.
4? We just didn't want to do the milking anymore, but...
No, it's not that we didn't want to do the milking. No, it's not, because milking a goat is very easy.
We just weren't.
It was, no, the issue was not being able to feed goats and cows in the same area, because we had a hay ring. The goats would climb in there, pee and poop all over it.
Well, I agree with
And then
that,
it's
but
ruined.
we have a difference of opinion.
Okay, because I milked the goat every day, and it didn't bother me at all.
We weren't using it either.
Grace was.
Only when she didn't have cow.
Okay, do you really want to have this argument now?
I don't know. Do you? Do you? Do you, huh? Do you, huh?
You better watch it.
Oh, my gosh. And this is how you stay married for 21 years. Or 4, or something like that.
You be quiet.
She knows I'm razzing her. But, oh, I know the whole point was, guys, we never had a challenge keeping the goats in.
The only time that they didn't stay in is if our fence was off.
Yeah, they didn't like the electric fence, and they stayed in there. We never had an issue with them.
Right.
And Mike DeFazio needed some place to put the sheep. I need a sheep.
Mike?
I need a sheep.
I thought we were friends.
Nope. We need a sheep.
No.
We need a sheep.
No.
I want a sheep.
No.
They're just so cute.
And stupid.
Well, of course they're stupid. They're sheep.
No.
That's why, God likens us to sheep.
Yeah, I know we're stupid. Goodness gracious.
Oh, my gracious.
All right, I'm going to pop these in the oven.
Louise,
and let them cook.
Put your nose on the wall, guys. That's what our punishment is.
That's what our kids do. That's what we make our kids do.
Yeah, and you know what? They hate it.
Ow.
Oop, careful, baby.
I know, it's hot.
Yeah, that's funny because we never had to whoop the kids, if they're out of line. I mean, we're not against, a spanking. Actually, I think some kids need that, but some kids don't. Our kids, man, if they messed up, go put your nose on the wall. You don't have to whoop them. They hated it.
Yep.
Every single one of them, but all for different reasons.
Sentences was the worst.
Oh, Jonathan in sentences. I want you to go write 100 sentences. Here it is. I, Jonathan, commit myself to moral integrity and will not disobey my parents again.
Right.
He kept writing sentences, but he hated it.
Absolutely hated it.
Hated it.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put, I'm going to actually take this off the burner real quick so that doesn't burn.
It's a little
Because
hot.
those drippings are real nice.
Real nice.
Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and put our seasonings in here. I need the basil.
Phoebe, I think sheep are a bad idea.
Ha ha, you're a bad boy.
Oh my gosh. Mary says, my goats never escaped, Except for one who thought she was human.
That's funny. That's funny. All right, so I'm going to put the spices in a separate bowl because I'm going to mix it with the flour.
So what you got there?
I got a 1 teaspoon of garlic. Again, our favorite. Put it back over there.
Yep.
And I think I need a 1/2 teaspoon of basil. Oops.
Oh. Larry says an American Homestead made a post on Facebook showing a donkey carrying a coyote on its back that it just killed.
Nice.
I knew he was wanting to get a donkey. I didn't know he got one.
Yeah, I thought he had one.
No, this was a relatively new thing, but yeah, a donkey is a great herd protector.
Yeah.
What's going in next?
1/2 teaspoon of pepper.
So does Jonathan have good penmanship? No.
It's awful.
It started out really good, and then they got worse and worse and worse and worse.
He got older. He got lazier. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and, okay, I've got our flour. I got our seasonings.
How much flour?
1 cup of flour.
The recipe's down below, too, in the description.
But you know what? I need more oil because I need this 1 cup of flour. That's too much. What am I doing?
I have no idea what you're doing.
The recipe says 1 cup of flour, but okay, here's the thing. When you're making gravy, you hush. When you're making gravy, however much oil you have in your pan, that's how much flour you put in. So if you have a 1/2 cup of oil or butter, you're going to use a 1/2 cup of flour. I don't have a whole cup of flour in this pan, or a whole cup of oil. So I'm going to add a little bit more and dump this out. I'm going to make 1/2 cup.
Do you want butter?
Yeah, you can get some butter. No, you can't get any butter.
Oh, I can get butter.
Oh, wait a minute. Is there some in here?
No, that's empty.
Oh, and nobody refilled it.
And when she's saying oil equals fat, right? So that's kind of what we're going with. The butter might make a little more flavorful of a gravy. We use the grapeseed oil more than any other oil. Like olive oil, it's got
flavor.
Well, not for this kind of thing. I like it when we use for like dipping oils.
True.
Like
but
when
not
you've got
for
a nice
cooking.
hunk of bread. Oh, and we made this butter.
This butter is yummy.
Let me show you. This butter was created from our cow. Right there. Super nice and yellow.
Yellow, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that we didn't add any coloring to that in any way.
No?
That's just how high the fat is.
Let's see. How much I'm having pineapple upside down cake. It's wonderful. That's nice.
Oh, good.
Proud to be the shepherd of the flock. Mama, careful. What are you doing?
It splattered at me.
Careful, baby. I know Fab 4 Girls, she's an advocate of avocado oil, but...
I know. And, you know, I almost bought some at Sam's the other day, but it was just so expensive.
Now, one thing to point out is all these bits and stuff that are in here, don't worry about that. That's going to be flavor. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to just get this butter melted, not melting. And I've got a whisk, okay? I've been wanting to actually show you guys how we make gravy. And there are 2 different rules of thought. You can do it one way or do it another way. This is one way. I know how to do both.
Mary's asking, are we still milking the cow? And the answer is, as of today, no. We're drying her up.
Right. Last night... Well, for the last 3 or 4 days, she's only given us a quart of milk per milking. So it was just, she was done. Well,
she's almost ready to have her baby.
Right.
So you have to do that anyway.
Right. We had to dry her off. Okay. So I got my oil and butter melted. And I'm going to sprinkle the flour on top.
About how much?
1/2 cup. And then the seasonings. And then I'm going to whisk this to get those lumps out of there. And to get that flour taste out of there.
Larry Parrish, you don't have a gopher in the kitchen with you. Well, the problem, Larry, here I'll show you.
Attached.
The problem is right here. We're tethered to microphones. We got a little mixer down underneath the table.
Okay, can you show this?
I will go
camera?
close, yes.
Okay, you see how thin this is? This actually needs to be just a touch thicker. So I'm going to add just a touch more flour. You don't want to add too terribly much because then it'll be too thick and you'll have to add more broth.
Oh, yeah, you got to make the broth.
I know, I'm getting there.
And I'll say this. We have normally made our own broths where chicken broth, turkey broth, beef broth. we're just out.
Yeah.
we just
we're
out. So we're going to use our Thrive broth.
Right. Okay. So now you see this. This is perfect.
That's where you
want
want
to
to
let
be.
that cook for just a minute. I'm going to turn that temperature down just a touch. So I've got some. Now, the rule is you have hot roux to cold liquid. I actually made the mistake and got warm liquid by accident. So I have to get cold liquid.
Okay.
Your stool's in the way, bud.
Sorry.
Don't sit down because it's not behind you anymore.
It's not there. This could make for a very exciting show.
Right. So you're going to let that cook for just a couple of minutes because you want that flour flavor to cook off.
Fab 4 girl. Brad, you should add some canned applause and cheer. I'll tell you what, guys. There is a device. You know I'm an audio guy, but there's a device that came out by Rode, R-O-D-E, and it's designed for live podcasting, and it's a mini studio with sound effects and all that kind of stuff, and our microphone levels, and you can switch and add all kinds of things and do some really, really cool stuff, and I so want one, but
it's expensive.
It's not cheap. It's $700, so that's not
wait
on the menu for right now.
Okay.
But it is super cool. So what are you doing there, Mama?
So for our broth, I'm adding 2 tablespoons to a quart of water.
Well, show them what it is.
This is the
close, Mike, baby.
It says vegetarian, but it's not. I mean, it's.
It is.
It is.
It's beef broth.
Beef broth.
There we go.
Which I know a lot of, not beef broth, it's beef bouillon.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are going to be like, how can it be vegetarian? It's beef flavored.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go ahead and mix this up.
See, I could put Beatles riffs in there. If I had my little box, I could be like, whatever, right?
Yeah. Okay, so I have 1 quart of broth, which is 32 ounces or 4 cups. And I'm going to go ahead and add this.
Is that on medium, baby?
Yeah.
Okay. Now tell what you're doing as you go, because this is kind of a feel thing.
Right. So I'm going to go ahead and add this broth in here. And what this cold liquid and this hot broth are going to do is it's going to thicken.
All right.
And if you put hot to hot, it won't work. If you put cold to cold, it will not work. It has to be one has to be hot, one has to be cold.
I wish there were Beatles emojis on here. I agree. I agree. The Beatles are so awesome.
All right, I'm going to kick up that temperature so that this will begin to heat up faster and come to a boil. Little fact, a little Beatle fact. Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band was recorded on 4 tracks. Crazy.
Now, if you don't know what that means that today, when you record music, it can be on hundreds of tracks. Like, oh, we've got our kick drum mic inside on this track, kick drum mic outside on this another track. Then we got snare top, snare bottom. You could have 25 microphones on just a drum kit. And to think that they did all of that on 4 tracks.
That's crazy.
So what they would do is they would record on 3, and then they'd bounce it to 1. Then they would record over the top of these 3, and then bounce it to 1 again. And so that's how they got all those big harmonies and all of that music. Everything was recorded on 4 tracks. That is pretty dang amazing.
Right. All right, so I've been looking at a few of the comments here. Yes, Jean-Marie, you can make liquid, or you can make a gravy out of any meat liquid. Yes, that is very true. You can also, there was another comment, it was Jean-Marie. She said she uses milk for her biscuit gravy.
Ooh.
I do the exact same thing.
Cool.
Because it's a milky gravy.
Right.
So yeah, I always use milk for that as well. But when I make any kind of chicken broth, chicken gravy, beef gravy, or turkey gravy, I use broth. So for turkey and, when I make turkey, I make my own turkey broth the night before, and that's the broth that I use to make the turkey gravy. Chicken broth for any kind of Alfredo or pasta.
Oh, yeah.
Or, I use some chicken broth for Alfredo, but mostly it's milk. So yeah, there's so many different kinds of gravies. This is just the beef gravy.
Yep.
And once this starts to thicken, I'm going to go ahead and add the cream. And that's all that has to be done left.
But that's got to get bubbling for quite a while.
Right.
There.
It's starting to heat up.
Yeah. These little burners that we use, they're great for portability, but they really are not. It's hard to regulate the temperature, even though you have a dial.
Right.
And yeah, it's either really hot or really not.
This is great for when we made lard, honestly.
What do you mean?
When we made lard.
That?
Yes, this burner was perfect.
Oh, now I'm with you, baby.
Sorry. This burner was perfect for when we made lard because I could regulate the temperature. On this over here, it's either hot or off. It's crazy.
Well, and I'll tell you what, I was surprised at how good our lard turned out because we'd never done it before.
Right.
But Prepsteader Bob, he was like, look, this is what you do. You get it just low temperature, just enough to melt those, get those cracklings out of there. And we have got the most milky white,
it's so
beautiful lard. And I'll tell you what, for biscuits, there is nothing to beat a little bit of butter and a little bit of lard in those biscuits.
Yep.
Wow.
I started using half and half, and they were really good this last time.
Yes, they were.
That's what
we're
having
excellent.
that with dinner, with the leftover biscuits from Sunday.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? Our kids, like, when they'll request a meal, if it's like their birthday or we actually do Bible study in the morning. We'll read our scriptures, and then if they memorize a scripture, they'll get to pick a meal.
Yep.
And so, surprisingly, one of the meals they pick a lot is biscuits and gravy.
Well, anytime David comes home,
that's what he wants.
He asks for biscuits and gravy. There's a few things, but that's the top one on the list.
How's the flavor, baby?
Needs a touch salt.
Needs some salt.
Just a touch.
Well, it's got to get bubbling too, man. That is taking a while.
It's working. It's getting thicker already. It's actually starting to boil over here.
Okay.
And you kind of have to keep mixing this, otherwise it will stick to the bottom. You don't want it getting all the nice thick stuff stuck to the bottom because it could burn. So if you keep it mixing, I mean, if you can go to the close cam.
Oh, I'll go to the close cam, yes,
you can start to see how it's starting to thicken already.
Oh yeah, it is starting to come together, isn't it?
All right, I'm going to go ahead and pour the cream in.
Okay. And that's how much cream?
Half a cup. Just a little bit.
Mary, now I want biscuits and gravy. I'll tell you what, we've got a video on how to do the gravy, but it's
easy.
Well, and it's such a nice, it's easy, fast meal. That's one of those things we make on Sundays. You just make sure that you get your sausage thawed. It was your phone.
I know, it scared me.
And it's fast. You're really waiting around on the biscuits to cook over anything else.
Well, the way I make that particular meal is I make the biscuits first. I get the dough, get everything cooking, get the biscuits made and rolled out, cut, put in the oven. Then I start making the sausage gravy.
Yeah. Off-Grid SE says, if you come to Sweden sometime, I will invite you for real Swedish meatballs.
I bet they're going to be a lot better than these.
If we end up in Sweden, I'm looking you up.
Right. Well, and these are really, really good. I don't make them very often because they're piddly. And they take a long time. You have to prepare a lot in ahead. I mean, you saw how long it took for me to start that dish. I mean, it took 45 minutes to get all of those meatballs
But you made a massive amount.
There's a huge tray of them.
Now, okay, I'm gonna ask you a question.
Yeah.
What would be my favorite thing about Sweden? Hint, it's a person.
I'm lost. I don't know.
Jim Forsell.
Oh, I didn't know he was Swedish.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
My favorite teacher. Okay, you guys got to type because everybody has a favorite teacher and you know who they are instantly. Who's your favorite teacher in your whole world? And type it in there. Who's your favorite teacher? Mine was Jim Forsell. He was my choir director in high school, and he was a Swedish dude, and he was awesome. He just commanded respect. He was an older guy, and he had this deep voice that he was one of those weird teachers where even like the punk kids and the rock kids and the jock kids and everybody just universally gave him respect. He never had to ask for it. They just did it because of who he was.
Right.
And
I didn't even go to that high school, and I respected him.
And he was always up and bright unless you deserved it. Every once in a while, if we were messing around, and he would just stop.
Yeah.
And that's all it took.
Yeah.
And one of the funny things I remember, Mrs. Crouch is Shannon's favorite teacher. One of the things that he did that was really funny and weird and quirky, he drank probably 2 pots of coffee a day.
I never
whole pots.
washed his cup.
He had cups all over in his office, and he never washed them. He would just go, they're good. He would blow out the dust. And it got to the point where some of the kids actually would scratch their initials in the coffee.
Some of the kids? Was it some of the kids?
I never did it. I never did it.
That's not the story I heard.
I did not. But yeah, he was definitely my favorite teacher. And he was Swedish.
I didn't know he was Swedish.
Oh, yeah.
I think I had read a few years ago he had passed away.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It's just sad.
Yeah, I'll tell you
He
that.
was an excellent, excellent choir teacher.
Reverend Lee says he loved all of my teachers. Wow, cool. There was not a specific one that was a cut above? Huh. There you go.
All right.
Here, let's go close cam, baby.
This is
darn near there.
Darn near there. So I'm going to go ahead and get some of the meatballs out and just put them in here. So they, I'm going to turn this down to low.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
hot.
Now it's finally boiling.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see.
Phoebe says, all my elementary teachers were great. I remember my first kindergarten teacher. Do you remember your first kindergarten teacher?
No.
I don't know what her real name was, but we all knew her as Mrs. Mittens.
Oh, funny.
Isn't that great?
That's great. Okay, let me show the meatballs up close.
Okay, close cam. Look at that.
Okay.
Now we're talking.
That's a load of meatballs, guys. Now, I'm going to very carefully
just put a few in.
Put some in. This is boiling like crazy.
I want to just turn it off.
It is off.
Okay.
Oh, no, I did. I put it on low. Okay.
Marion Moritz was an awesome teacher. All right. Mr. Trenacosta. There we go. Rare Breed says.
Okay.
I'm homeschooled, so mom's my favorite teacher.
Well, I would hope so.
Way to go, Lydia. Okay. Mr. York, best teacher ever.
Okay. So I'm going to get my tongs here. I'm going to go ahead and toss some in here.
Don't toss. Place gently.
Yeah, so I don't splash myself again.
No, so you don't hurt the goods. Do not abuse the meat balls.
Goodness gracious.
Do not.
And then you can allow these to simmer.
What?
What?
Off-Grid SE says, my favorite teacher when I started on YouTube was Brad. I learned a lot from you, so I'm... Oh, wow. I am
sweet.
humbled, and that is very kind.
That is very kind.
Thank you. All right, Mrs. K5, Mrs. Croxton. But my senior year, had her husband and thought that was neat. Cool. I'm older than dirt, so there was no kindergarten.
That's great. All right, move these back over here so I don't dump them.
Nana's having nightmares. Nana,
okay.
Come here. Every once in a while, Nana will get nightmares, and she starts whining and yipping and doing her paws while she's
starts
sleeping.
running or something.
Every once in a while.
Okay.
You okay?
I can add more meatballs, and I probably will, because there's lots more room here.
Fit them in there, baby.
Yeah. But this is done. You can let this simmer for another 15-20 minutes so that the flavors from the gravy
Oh yeah, get in
and
that
the flavors
outer
of the
crust.
meat get in there and get all nice and happy and yummy. I think we'll put some more in there.
More? Yeah.
Yeah.
Fill them up, baby. That's what's for dinner, kids.
That's right.
And here's the thing, like, we generally will have them with over noodles.
Yes.
And like the nice wide egg noodles. But I've seen people put them over mashed potatoes. I bet that would be tasty.
I would imagine.
I'm not sure rice would be good. It just would be hard to eat.
I think it would be too gloopy.
It'd be hard to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at that. Come on now. Come on now.
Well, I got lots of kids. There. Now the pan is full.
Yep.
And we can save the rest. We'll freeze them.
Zaragim says try to whistle when a dog has a bad dream. That's interesting.
That is interesting.
I wonder why.
Wakes her up. We usually just, you know, call her name. But,
Alicia, that is very kind. She's saying that Bible teacher time.
Oh.
Yeah, that's very kind.
Very cool.
So if you're making enough to freeze later, we just put them in freezer bags. Yes.
Let them cool first.
Yep.
I usually I'll just let them cool on the cookie sheet because you don't want to put hot into a plastic bag or
It'll get weird. And the plastics.
They'll all freeze together too. If they're hot, they'll all freeze together. Like when we make waffles or pancakes, and I make a bunch of them, I wait until they cool. I put them on a cooling rack and let them cool before I put them in the freezer.
Julie James is asking, will you keep them warm till dinner or in the refrigerator?
No, I'll keep them warm till dinner. I'll let this simmer.
Yeah, they get. I mean, look at that.
Yeah.
They get so nice.
You want one?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. You
yes,
want one?
I do. I am excited to see what this is going to be like because they're always good.
It's not going to be as good because it's only cooked for a little while.
I got a spoon here.
You got a spoon?
We got a spoon here.
I was going to get a fork.
That's fine.
Here you go.
You are correct, sir. All right. Okay, first of all, show them close up before I... Look at that. Yummy.
Yep, and you can see those pieces of onions. Oh, yum.
They smell so good. Let's see, make sure I get a little gravy on there. And the actual meatball on the fork.
Usually.
Mmm.
Is it good?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I like cooking like this because Brad can't come in behind me and add seasonings to it.
And that's perfect, baby. That's perfect. I'm notorious for wanting to have too much salt.
No, that's just enough.
But that is just right. Holy smokes. I'm sorry to be eating and chatting, but I cannot.
Yeah. This, like I said, this is another one of our favorites, our family favorites. It's just, it takes a long time, but trust me, is worth it. It is worth it. And we'll have another 2 meals. So this big recipe will make 3 meals for us, or 4 or more. Yeah, I mean, you know, if the boys were home, this would be gone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, probably not traditional.
Probably not.
But dang good.
Yeah.
Yep. And utilitarian, like you said earlier.
Right. You can use these meatballs for
you talk.
for pretty much anything. Meatball subs, spaghetti and meatballs. What else do you make with meatballs? Swedish meatballs. I feel like Bubba Gump, you know.
Meatball salad, meatball stew, meatball fricassee, meatball.
If you made them smaller, you could probably make the Italian wedding soup.
Oh my gosh.
You know how you have the little itty bitty ones with the wedding soup?
I'm not gonna lie, guys. I like soups.
Yeah.
And I like some soups, and I cannot lie. But Italian wedding soup is so good, and we've never made it just because it looks like kind of a daunting recipe to take on. Yeah. Like it'd be really piddly. But hey, the Weekend Homestead's here. What's up,
hey, Will? Is it 43 days for Will? 43 days?
For what?
Till he opens his campground.
Oh yeah, there you go. Shameless plug. He bought a campground.
It looks so cool.
Like a total resort on a lake.
I can't wait to visit because all of the stuff that he's done is fantastic.
What is the name of the campground?
Bear Paw Campground.
Really? Do tell. Is it in Wisconsin?
Yeah. Actually, I don't know.
It is.
So, yeah.
It's on camp, check it, what's the lake?
I don't know.
Go ahead, Will.
I don't know. Tell us, Will. Where is it?
Tell us, Will. 41
days. Okay.
Porcupine meatballs, yes.
Those you put rice in those. That's a porcupine.
Hey, Steve Gunink. Dang it, I get it wrong every. I'm sorry. Please email me. I have a question for you on your spices, but I've got a question. So if you don't mind, please.
I think it's time for dinner.
Cold meatballs on sandwich and beet salad. Oh.
Yum.
I'm not really a fan of beets.
No, I'm not either. But the cold meatballs on sandwiches, that might be good because it's like a cold meatloaf.
And you cut them up a little bit. Forget about it.
Cut them in half.
Forget about it.
Oh yeah. Whoops.
Oh, thank you, Will.
Thank you.
But you got to tell everybody where they can see it because I
Yeah.
don't have the information in front of me. So please do type it in.
Yeah.
He didn't ask for this.
No, not at all.
We're saying, please type it in.
Right.
There
Put
it
in
is.
the web address.
He's got it. bpresort.com.
There you go. Oh, is it Bear Paw Resort?
Oh,
Yes.
did you get it wrong?
I'm sorry, I got it wrong. It's Bear. He was working through the title early on, and I think he had started out saying it was Bear Paw Resort and Campground, but I think they finalized on Bear Paw Resort, which I like.
And dancing ballroom. I think they need a dancing ballroom because you can go there and eat meatballs, Swedish meatballs in the ballroom.
Okay.
Dancing.
Okay. It's in Birchwood, Wisconsin.
Oh. Birchwood. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure where that's at.
Okay.
So.
Well, guys, this is it.
Yeah.
I hope you have an excellent day. Swedish meatballs for dinner, guys.
Yeah. Can't wait.
I'm going to probably have a few more now.
No, and then you won't eat dinner.
I can't sit and look at them for a couple hours.
So delightful. I didn't garnish it with parsley.
No, and yeah, that is traditional too.
Yeah, you garnish
hit
it
it
with
with
parsley.
a little parsley at the end.
Right.
So, anyway, thank you guys for all showing up and the kind comments.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So, next week, do you have an idea what we're going to do next week?
No.
Well,
clue.
if you guys have a
always find out on
suggestion,
Sunday.
if you have a suggestion, type it in there. Maybe you'll be the one we pick. So, where it is, I am glad you came.
Yeah, me too.
You guys, Brad?
I'm Krista.
You guys have an amazing and blessed day. Oops, no, I don't want to exit. I want to just stop the stream. I'm messing this up.